Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of Boredom Busters with Lincoln Children's Museum. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, and I hope that you all had a chance to tune in to all those fun stories about bugs with Read Aloud Lincoln at 10 o'clock. Now, don't forget, Read Aloud Lincoln does a live post every day at 10 o'clock. And those ones will disappear after they finish because of those stories. Now, today we are also going to talk about bugs. So, what is a bug? Now, you might think, oh, there's crickets and fleas and cockroaches and worms, and you can say they're all bugs. But really, there are differences. So, an insect is very similar to a spider in a lot of ways, except for a couple of big differences. One big difference is that spiders have 8 legs and insects only have 6. Now, they do have a lot of things in common though. One of those things is that they don't have bones on the inside of their bodies like we do. So inside our bodies stay hard and we can move around because we have bones inside. But insects and spiders, they have what is called an exoskeleton. Because EX means it's on the outside, like the exit sign. That means you're going outside, you're exiting. So the hard parts of an insect and a spider is the external, the outside. That's their hard parts. They don't have bones. Another thing that they have in common is body segments. So I have a couple little models, a very large plastic ant, but you can very clearly see 1, 2, 3 body segments. Now, when you look at your hand, well, you know that your hand is different from your arm, but on the outside, it's hard to see that difference. It goes straight from your hand to your arm. But on the insects, there's very clear segments or parts. Now, the last thing that they have, both spiders and insects, is their legs are jointed. So you can see it here on this grasshopper. It's got a joint in its leg. And on this little butterfly here, you can see those leg segments on there. Now, if you have an exoskeleton, jointed legs, and body segments, then you are an arthropod. An arthropod is an insect, a spider, but also a lot of other things. Now, today we have a printable for you. This one is helping Kazoo figure out if these little guys in the pictures are insects or not. So the difference between an insect and a spider. Insects have 6 legs, spiders have 8. So don't get fooled when you look at these pictures though, because many insects have pretty long antennae. And the antennae, some people call them their feelers. They are not legs. So when you look at these pictures here, try to figure out if it is an insect or not. Now, another feature that insects might have is wings. So this butterfly has wings. So if an insect has wings, what does that tell you about it? Does it just walk around? Or do you think it might fly? Now, the butterfly has wings, and the butterfly's wings are always out. They can fold them up a little bit. But look at this little beetle here. This little beetle here, he has wings too, but they are tucked underneath a layer of exoskeleton. So all the different insects have different adaptations so they can live in different environments. So today, our main activity is to think about where you can find these different kinds of insects, because they all live in different places. So over here, now I'm just up on the balcony today, but for you, when you go outside and it is beautiful out, I definitely hope you go out and look around your home, maybe out by the park, and see if you can find any insects. So before you start looking, think, where should I look? So I start looking. I know that insects like to live in the soil sometimes. So I'm looking in this old planter. You know, I'm not seeing anything right here or over here. But I challenge you to find some bugs. Find bugs and think about what makes them a nice home. And then, what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna build just a little arthropod apartment, because I don't know if it's going to be an insect or a spider that comes in. And hi girls, I'm filming right now.
We're done.
Okay, sweethearts, I am filming our Facebook Live right now. Can you go back inside?
Yep. We just wanted to give you that.
Thank you. All right, we have some helpers here today. Now, back to our arthropod apartments. Now we can build, think about where we found little friends and how we can build a place for them to stay that might attract them. If you wanted to attract a person, maybe you would build a house out of wood and stone. If you wanted to attract a kitten, maybe a nice soft little bed. So, but we're trying to attract arthropods. So, here's a little hole that I dug, because I know from I've explored a lot in the past. And here we have, I know that sometimes they like the nice, cool, moist areas. And they like it when they can be hidden from things that might eat them. So we're gonna hide and make a little area here where maybe they would want to come and hide from some birds that would want to eat them. So there are a lot of birds out here. There we go. There's a little roof on there. Now over here I've got a little bit of a plant. I'm gonna put that down there because we know that they like to have something to eat. Now I'm gonna also protect it just a little bit more by getting some of this dry old vines from last year and make a little bit more protected. And now I can come back in a couple of days and check and see if anyone has moved into my arthropod apartment. And we also have another activity that I recommend for today. It's a lot of fun. I'm not going to demonstrate it today, but it is to make a recycled arthropod. And you can challenge yourself too. So how can you make it be just right? So think about those things I said. An arthropod has an external skeleton, an exoskeleton. It has body segments, and it has jointed legs. How can you build that with just the craft supplies and the recycling that you have in your home right now? Another thing that you can do if you want to challenge yourself even more, come up, think an environment, maybe next to a river, maybe a pond, maybe even the middle of the desert. What kind of insect or arthropod might live in one of those environments? For our book recommendation today, we have Bug Hunt by Tom Story, that is linked below. And we also have a video recommendation. It's SciShow Kids again, Inspect an Insect. she goes into all those things that I told you about and a little bit more. Now we have a pretty silly song recommendation as well, the insect song. It's got a pretty good beat to it, only about a minute, a little over a minute long. I recommend it. Now one thing that I have not talked about when I'm talking about insects here is their life cycle. So think about a human. I'm a human, you're a human. Now, when a baby is born, when a human is born, well, a baby grows up, becomes a big kid, becomes a grown-up, and then gets old. Well, even a baby and someone who is old and a grown-up, we all look about the same. We all have fingers, we all have two eyes, we all eat through our mouths, so we all look the same. We stay the same throughout. But insects don't. So here we have, it is the life cycle of a butterfly. Now, when an insect is born, it actually comes from an egg. Now, a chicken comes from an egg, and when it hatches, it's just a little baby chicken, and then it same. I mean, the color's different, its size is different, but you can tell when you look at a baby chicken and a grown-up chicken, they look about the same. But insects, when they hatch from their eggs, they do not look the way that the first stage, it hatches and it's a little caterpillar. So the caterpillar, look at it, that body shape is so different from a butterfly. It doesn't have wings, it doesn't have anything like that. But then it goes from this to get to here. It wraps itself in a chrysalis when the time is right. And it goes inside there, it builds a chrysalis around itself, and then its body changes inside the chrysalis. And it comes out as a butterfly. And that is very different than the way that people or cats or dogs or any other mammals go through life. Now, I would like to remind everybody about our spring house kits. We do have those for sale. They are $15. And with that, you get a cardboard house form, some frosting, some cereals and candies. And you can add to it with rocks or leaves or moss or even little toys that you might have. Now, we also do have some very fun extra resources linked below. Make sure you check those out today for some more extension on our bug theme. And tomorrow at 10:30 for another day science. But Miss Katie.
Yes, Miss Greta?
When is a baseball player like a spider?
I don't know, when?
When it catches a fly, because a spider catches flies in its web to eat, and a baseball player catches a fly ball in their glove. So I hope everybody had fun today. Let us know about your arthropod apartments and how those have turned out. We'll be checking back in with mine, and we'll also check back in on those seeds that we put up just the other day. Have a great day, everybody. Remember to stay safe and healthy. We'll see you tomorrow.